I'll decide. This is BBC Radio 2 on the BBC Sounds app, on your smart speaker, and on 88 to 91 FM.
BBC News at 5 o'clock. This is Mike Powell. The man who was the apparent target of the shooting of Olivia Pratt-Korbel in Liverpool has been arrested in hospital. Boris Johnson has made a surprise visit to the Ukrainian capital, and the RAF is investigating allegations of inappropriate behaviour involving the Red Arrows. The Chief Constable of Merseyside Police has said the investigation into the murder of Olivia Pratt-Korbel is progressing at pace. The 9-year-old was shot on Monday evening by a masked attacker who had burst into her home. A 35-year-old man who's thought to have been the intended target of the shooting has been arrested. Joseph Nee was detained in hospital for breaching the terms of his release from prison. Earlier, it emerged that police hunting for the gunman had been given the same name by two different sources. Alan Walsh, a youth worker on Merseyside, says there will be people in the community working out how to come forward with information without compromising their safety.
And that's where the fear factor is. They know the police are so much threats, it's unbelievable, and the police can't protect them 24 hours a day. So you will have, and I guarantee you'll have hundreds of people in the community and hundreds of people in Liverpool sitting there at this moment in time thinking, how can I give this information the safest way that I can keep them safe and their families safe?
Boris Johnson has made a surprise visit to the Ukrainian capital to mark the anniversary of the country's independence from the Soviet Union in 1991. It's also the 6-month anniversary of the Russian invasion. At a joint news conference with President Zelensky in Kyiv, Mr Johnson announced a new package of military aid worth £54 million. On what's likely to be his final visit to the country as Prime Minister, Mr Johnson told Ukrainians that they can and will win the war.
Out of the ashes of your towns and cities, out of the monstrous scars that are being left by Putin's missiles, something beautiful is blooming, and it's a flower that the whole world can see and admire. And that is the unconquerable will of the Ukrainians to resist.
3 people have been convicted of modern slavery offences for exploiting a vulnerable man who moved to South Wales from Latvia. Roland Kazoks, who's 31, was stripped of his bank cards, denied showers and forced to clean the home of the couple he lived with in Newport. The RAF has confirmed that an investigation is underway into allegations of what it calls inappropriate behaviour involving the world-renowned Red Arrows display team. Fewer than usual Hawk jets have been taking part at air shows after the departure of a number of pilots. Our defence correspondent Jonathan Beale reports.
The Red Arrows are among the crown jewels of the RAF, but the team's been stripped back, flying just 7 jets instead of the usual 9. Last week, The Sun reported that 3 pilots had left, with 1 suspended and another complaining of a toxic culture. The Times has since reported that an investigation ordered by the Chief of the Air Staff and yet to be completed has heard claims of bullying, misogyny, sexual harassment and drunkenness. In a statement, the RAF confirmed an investigation's underway. It said it would not comment on individuals.
Unions have warned of further strike action in Scotland after bin collectors across 13 local authorities joined colleagues in Edinburgh in a walkout. Refuse workers in the capital have been on strike since last week, leaving rubbish to pile up on the streets. The Unite Union said the Scottish Government should prepare for a winter of discontent if it refuses calls for more funding for council workers. Eurotunnel has apologised and promised compensation to dozens of passengers who were stranded under the channel in a service tunnel for hours yesterday evening. The train they were travelling on from Calais to Folkestone had to be evacuated after an alarm went off. The company says services are now back to normal. A study has found that people who look extremely alike often behave similarly too. Researchers in Spain have carried out an in-depth analysis of unrelated doppelgangers and found they have similar DNA. Annie Green has more.
Researchers at the Josep Carreras Leukemia Research Institute in Barcelona looked at 32 pairs of unrelated doppelgangers from around the world. The recruits had to take DNA tests and fill out detailed questionnaires about their lifestyles. Facial recognition recognition software was also used to determine how similar each participant was to another. The results showed a link between behavioural traits such as smoking and education level, and the pairs tended to have a genetic overlap. The authors of the report say their findings may be able to help with detecting future diseases among people and assist in forensics.
In the city, the 100 share index closed down 17 points at 7,472. The weather, a largely dry evening across England and Wales before sharp showers with the risk of thunder arrive in the southeast overnight. Scotland and Northern Ireland mostly clear with the odd shower. Lows of 19 Celsius in London, 15 in Cardiff, 12 in Belfast and Edinburgh. BBC News, it's 5:05.
Thank you, Mike, you smasher. Ladies and gentlemen, introducing to you another hour of Righty.
Listen live on the BBC Sounds app.
BBC Radio. 5:06, let's do it.